Hey everyone, and welcome. We all think about food pretty much every single day. But what if we thought about it a little differently? Not just as breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but as building a team, an internal team that powers, builds, and protects your body. Well, today we're going to meet the players that you recruit with every single bite. And this idea of mindful eating, it's not some new trend. This ancient Sanskrit saying shows us that people have understood the deep connection between our food and our health for centuries. It's all about balance and context, the same principles you'd use to build any winning team, right? This sets the stage perfectly for what we're about to dive into. So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to understand the playing field, basically why we eat what we do. Then we're going to meet the three key groups of players on our internal team: the energy givers, the bodybuilders, and the protective squad. And finally, we'll see what happens when some of those key players are missing from the lineup. All right, first up, the playing field. Before we can even think about drafting our team, we have to understand the environment we're in. And what we eat is so deeply connected to where we live, our climate, and our culture.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Just look at how clear the link is between what grows locally and what ends up on the plate. In Punjab, where maize and wheat are everywhere, you get classics like makki di roti. Then you go down to Karnataka with its abundance of rice and ragi, and you find staples like dosa and ragi mude. It's like our food is telling a story about the land itself.
And this is a simple but really powerful comparison. On one side, you have the traditional chula, and on the other, a modern gas stove. Our cooking tools, our technology, have evolved so dramatically. But here's the kicker. What hasn't changed are the fundamental nutritional needs of our bodies. Okay, let's meet the first group of players, the energy givers. Think of these guys as your team's offense. They're the ones providing the fuel to run, to think, to do pretty much everything you do every single moment of your day. So these energy-giving foods are all about fuel. They come in two main types. You've got carbohydrates for that quick, immediate energy, and then you have fats for stored energy. Without these players, your team simply can't even get on the field. So let's meet the star players for that immediate energy burst. Carbohydrates. We're talking about grains like wheat and rice, veggies like potatoes, and fruits like bananas and mangoes. All of these break down into glucose, which is the high-octane fuel for our every move. Now for the other part of our offense, these are kind of like the long-distance runners, the stored energy crew. We're talking about fats. We can get them from plant sources like nuts and seeds, and from animal sources like butter and ghee. These are the players that keep you going over the long haul. Okay, next up are the bodybuilders. Now, if the energy givers are your offense, then these players, they're your construction and repair crew. They're responsible for growth and for fixing any damage that happens along the way.
And the key player on this crew is protein. Proteins are literally the essential building blocks for everything in your body, from your muscles to your organs. They are absolutely vital, especially for kids who are growing or anyone who's physically active. And the great thing is, you can recruit these bodybuilders from a huge variety of sources. You've got awesome plant-based options like pulses, beans, and nuts. And from animal sources, you have milk, paneer, eggs, and meat. A really strong roster needs a good mix of both. And now for our final group, the protective squad. Now, these might not be the biggest players on the field, but think of them as your coaches, your medics, and your strategists. They keep the whole system running smoothly and protect you from danger. These protective nutrients are, of course, vitamins and minerals. We don't need them in huge quantities, but their role is absolutely critical. They're the ones fighting off diseases and making sure all the complex stuff happening inside your body is working just right. So let's meet a few of these key players. You've got vitamin A, which is crucial for your vision. Vitamin B1 keeps your heart in good shape. Vitamin C is like your frontline disease fighter. And vitamin D is the one that helps you build strong bones by absorbing calcium. Each one has a very specific and very important job to do. And on the mineral side of the squad, we have calcium, which is the foundation for strong bones and teeth. Then there's iodine, which is vital for both physical and mental function. And iron, a key part of your blood that carries oxygen everywhere it needs to go. I mean, you just can't have a winning team without them. So we've seen just how vital this squad is. But what happens if these players are missing? What happens when your protective squad just doesn't show up for the game? And that brings us to our final section, what happens when key players are missing from the field?
Because an unbalanced team is a vulnerable team, and this is where we see the direct consequences of those nutritional gaps.
The link is so direct, it's kind of scary. When the player vitamin C is missing, the body can develop scurvy. When iodine is absent, it can lead to goitre. And a lack of iron on the team, that can result in anemia, which causes all that weakness and fatigue. Every single player has a role, and their absence is felt immediately. So the takeaway from all this is simple, but it's really, really powerful. Your plate is your team's daily roster. And you're the general manager. You're the one making the decisions. You decide which players get called up to help your body perform at its absolute best. And that just leaves us with one final thought. With your very next meal, you have a choice to make. You have the power to recruit a better team. So the question is, what's one mindful choice you can make for your team today?